Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Bobbie, and this is Bobbie Reads Tarot, and it's Monday, so that means it's time for another weekly tarot reading. Let's see what Spirit has for us this week. As always, my readings are for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, form your own opinions, and please be kind in the comment section down below. And if you see the sticker or the little stamp on my hand, I went to a gem show. Yay. It was super fun. It was in Sedona. Okay, you guys, let's see what we can expect this week. What can we expect for this week? Okay, we have darkness and outage. You guys know that for the weekend, I got the feeling that there was going to be some kind of an outage. I was feeling more of a like a technology company, like a social media company going down or something like that. The energy is still there. And you know what's interesting is I had mentioned in that weekend reading that it's hard to pin down exactly when things are going to happen. It could happen last weekend or it could happen coming up this week. And it's weird that I had mentioned that. And then we get darkness and outages or outage again. Okay. Well, look at that terrible shuffle. Boy, my hand, change is coming. Big city. Did you see that? Change is coming to a big city. Change is coming, big city. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, I'm so happy, you guys, that the No Kings protests went off this weekend so well. And there wasn't, from what I could see, any like big issues. I'm so glad that everyone was safe and just amazing, amazing. I was just sending prayers of protection all day to everyone who was out. Okay, we have future time. You know what's interesting is that I was doing a tarot reading for someone and he had mentioned that he felt like his timeline had shifted. And it's so interesting that he had mentioned it because I was thinking the same thing. There's a lot of things that I think should have happened by now. And the timeline it's weird. I feel like everything is moving a bit slower than I had anticipated. So it was interesting hearing that from someone else that they're feeling the same thing. How do you guys feel? Do you feel like your timelines in your life have been pushed back? Were there things that you were expecting to happen that have not yet happened? I would be really curious to know. I feel like that future time it's pushing it out. You know, it's interesting because the Bible says that no one will know the time they're speaking about when Christ returns, but I feel like it's really referencing no one knows the exact time anything is going to happen. And it's this idea that, I don't know, I almost wonder if so many people were anticipating it, that Spirit was like, you know what, we're going to shift this. We're going to move this. I don't know, maybe. And then we have military action. So we could see some military action this week. Now, there is the ceasefire in Gaza, which the Israelis have violated it left and right. It's basically not a ceasefire, just so that you know. So there's still that. Now, there's also been some interesting stuff going around with Trump and Putin. So Trump, was on Putin's side, and then he kind of turned on Putin there for a minute, but now he's like checking with Putin before we sent Ukraine missiles or something. So it could be that military action. This could also be Venezuela and what's going on there. I've been getting the feeling that there's going to be drone strikes happening this week. I'm not sure where, but drone strikes had just come through. Uprooted, taken out. I'm very concerned that we are going to see the continued destruction of Gaza. Well, we are. And I'm wondering where those people are going to go. Uprooted, taken out. We have imprisoned, detained. We have social media. We have resigns, leaves office, and we have fire or heat wave. So something else I got this weekend, and I am feeling it very strongly. I do feel like Trump is going to release Ghislaine Maxwell from prison. He released George Santos. He commuted his sentence, taken out, being imprisoned, detained, and then being taken out. I wonder if Ghislaine is going to be taken out of prison this week. Let's get some tarot on this one, you guys, and see what's going on here. What is going on here? I wonder if he knows that his time is maybe running out, and so he's trying to get a bunch of things done, perhaps. Okay, let's see what we've got here for imprisoned, detained. We have the Three of Swords. Let's get 2 more cards, please, Spirit. And we have the 7 of Cups and the 8 of Wands. This is heartbreak, grief. So this would cause people pain. And I also have noticed in this imprisoned, detained card that it's almost like the door is open. While she is still chained, the door is open. This is hurting a lot of people. What's going to happen? The 7 of Cups is having a lot of options. There are a lot of options with what Trump can do. He can commute her sentence. He can give her a pardon. There's all kinds of things. But we are going to get news, I believe, this next week about what Trump is going to do with Ghislaine. And I feel he is going to release her. Okay, I do. I really, really do. So let's move these out of the way here. And I want to take a look at this Resigns, Leaves Office. Let's see. Let's go to the deck that I made and see what we can get. Wouldn't it be wonderful if this was the week that Trump left office? Ugh, that would be amazing. Let's see what we've got here. Spirit, can you help us clarify Resigns, Leaves Office? Prisoner. This, I feel like, goes back to this Ghislaine Maxwell thing, but I'm wondering if this is either like a precursor or the final straw for him then having to leave office. Let's see what else we've got. One more clarifier, please, Spirit. Can you please help us understand this Resigns, Leaves Office? Europe, Secret Service. Europe and Secret Service. Okay, you guys. So we need to keep our eyes on this one. I'm wondering if Ghislaine is going to try to go somewhere like Europe and is escorted by the Secret Service, or if Trump, to avoid becoming a prisoner, I wouldn't think he would go to Europe. I would think he would go to the Middle East. But Europe could be either the stopover place, or it could be where he is for a short amount of time and maybe people won't know. This is really interesting. Or I don't know. I don't want to try to force this one. I always find that when I really try to like force what it's going to be with details, it never works out like that. So we're going to leave this energy. So we've got this Resigns, Leaves Office. And I do feel like this is all together. I feel like it has to do with Ghislaine. So we will have to see what happens this week. Let me know if you guys hear a story. Come back and post it in the comments so we can track this. Okay, I want to look at this Darkness and Outage and see what we can expect here. We have the King of Wands. King of Wands is a card of tyranny. This could be another leader. I feel like this is leaders working together, leaders of other countries that are working together to conspire against probably the United States or United States companies. This is a creative block. This would be blocking creativity, which would be a block to social media. Oh my God, social media, darkness, outage. You guys, I really, really, really feel like there is going to be at least some period of time, even if it's a short period of time, there's going to be some period of time where some social media site goes down. And if it's not this week, that we do have this future time. So it could be talking about something that's happening in the future, but this is coming. Okay. Just an FYI. Okay. Let's move this out of the way. Okay. I want to shift over. I'm going to leave these here and I'm going to shift over to the Trish James Governance Oracle to see what else we can figure out about what is going on this coming week. If you guys are ever curious to know what cards I'm using, If you go to my website, which is just bobbiereads.com, I have a page that has all of the different decks that I use. I promise every deck is there, okay? The only deck that's not there is this one here that I made myself. But other than that, they're all here. If it's a newer deck, go to the bottom of the list. My newest decks are on the very bottom, okay? And also, if you've ever wanted to have your own private tarot reading with me, you can schedule that on my website as well. I do not have a ton of appointments between now and the end of the year just because of the holidays and everything. So if you were wanting to get a reading before the end of the year, I would suggest getting on the booking calendar now. Okay. What else do you have for us, Spirit, for this week? Energy management. Okay. Lacking readiness. If something goes down like the power or a grid, that would come back to this energy management. And I do feel like we are lacking readiness because we've trimmed down all of our different agencies to where there's nothing substantial left. So if something, catastrophic happened, we wouldn't be ready. I want to do a full tarot spread on this social media outage, this or whatever's going to happen, because I just feel like it's coming soon. I've been feeling it. It's been coming up in the cards, and I am not the only person who's predicted this also. I know you guys, I've had people leave comments in my comment section that they have predicted it as well. So all very, very interesting. So I want to take a look and see what's the energy around this. What is the energy around this? Okay, so we have the Judgment card reversed. The Judgment card reversed is the energy of not being able to see what's going on. So this situation, you guys know right by now that it's so much bigger than the small little individual things that we see happen on a daily basis, right? We know that the bigger picture of what's going on is so much more. And I feel, and I've said this before, but I feel like there are a lot of people whose eyes are not open, specifically conservatives, MAGA. And when the you-know-what hits the fan, they are not going to be ready. They're not going to be ready because they think Trump is the savior. They think everything is going to be great. So these people are not prepared for anything. And I think people know this, right? I think leaders of other countries, they know this and they're going to capitalize on it. So the challenge that we have is this Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords goes back to having two different choices, going two different ways, right? We can go one way or we can go the other way. Which way do you want to go? Which track do you want to be on? I talk in every single reading about how our external world is a direct reflection of our internal thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So we determine what we experience. And I think that, I've mentioned this before as well, that we are going to have this split, right? Where it's almost like two parallel experiences happening simultaneously. And some people are going to have an easier time, and some people are going to have a much more difficult time. And this is that energy of which way are you going to go? When the lights go out, are you going to be ready or are you not going to be ready? Is your experience going to be different, going to be more positive, going to be more uplifted than other people's, right? And we get to choose that. The energy of where we're coming from and where this conflict is coming from, or the power going out, whatever's coming, it's the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is the card of ego. It shows up so much in these readings. You guys probably know that by now. It's egos that got us where we are. And where we're going is the Moon reversed. The Moon reversed is inconsistency, it's uncertainty, and it's a lot of confusion. So when the power goes down or whatever is happening, there's going to be a lot of confusion. What happened? How did this happen? Trying to figure it out because they don't have the resources, right, to investigate. Nothing's being monitored right now, or very few things are being monitored right now. Now, the other thing we have going on is this Five of Wands reversed, and this is deception or misinformation. So there's going to be a lot of deception and misinformation during this time. You know what just popped into my mind, you guys? It was not that another country was going to take down our power grid, but it was going to be an inside job, but made to look like an outside job. That's weird. I don't know where that came from. Okay. And the underlying issue, the subconscious issue, what we don't see coming is the Eight of Wands reversed. The Eight of Wands reversed is bad news. No communication, not being able to communicate, nothing going through. This is a card of regression, altercation. This is not good energy. And then the other things that I'm looking at here is we have this fire and heat wave, and then that military action piece. Fire and heat wave, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. I don't necessarily know that we're going to see any heat waves, but I do think that there could be a fire, and this might not be a wildfire, okay? This could actually end up being an explosion or a fire around some type of a facility, a military base, a regular, company that manufactures something. But I feel like there could be some kind of an explosion, and I'm really feeling like this is US. However, it doesn't have to be, okay? Okay, you guys. Then we have this military action, and we still haven't, I'm going to put future time away because I feel like we kind of have that one, future time. But I want to see what's going on with this military action, and I'm just going to go back to these cards here. Spirit, can you please help us get clarification on this military action for this week? Can you please help us figure out medical emergency, United States of America, and a foreign leader? So it is something that the United States is going to be involved in, and there could be injuries or casualties. I'm wondering if this is going to be another drone strike against, I'm really wondering if it's going to be Venezuela, more fishing boats. All right, you guys, what do you guys think? What do you think is going to happen this week? What are you looking forward to this week? That's what I want to know. I want to know, okay, now that we see, okay, it's going to be, another wonderful week in the United States, I want to look at what positive, wonderful things do you guys have going on, right? I want to get out of this energy because I feel like it's going to be a really heavy week. So what I want to do is I want to take a look at an oracle card. And this week we're going to do the Work Your Light oracle because I just feel like we need light, right? We need some guidance, but some lightness. I felt like this would be a really good deck for this week. So what final message does Spirit have for us that we need to hear now that we know what kind of a week we're going to have? Hang in there, everybody. What would Spirit like us to know? What would Spirit like for us to know? We have transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing. Okay, this card says, things are changing at a cellular level. You are not who you were a year ago or who you will soon be. You are in between, emerging half risen, half falling. Keep doing the work. You are transforming. You will look back at this time with awe. So much is happening in your inner world and within your cells. It's time to release old ways of being that have kept you in fight, flight, freeze mode. To choose a new way of being where trauma is not the driving force. Old childhood patterns are rising up to be healed. As you allow yourself to observe them and feel them without attachment, they loosen their grip and fall away. You are being called to find new ways to self-soothe. Saturn and the Black Madonna and the African goddess Oshun influence this card. Saturn represents destruction and transformation. The Black Madonna represents the underground and all that has been cast aside. And Ocean, I think maybe Ocean, represents the tender love of the original mother. A rethreading is happening, healing at the deepest of levels. While you are in this phase, don't put yourself under pressure to perform. You may need to review your relationship with your body, perhaps even shifting your diet or exercise regime, or getting energetic healing support. You may also need to consider some kind of emotional support as issues from your childhood may come up to be healed. You are deeply loved. Wow. Okay, you guys, so I'm actually listening to Jennifer and Angie from the I've Had It podcast. I love them. They're so funny. But they have a book that they released called Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. And I've been listening to it. And first of all, I love it because it's a break from politics. And it's just two women sharing their story and being very real and very authentic. And it's nice to listen to something that's, not political in nature, which is funny because they have a political podcast. But anyway, they talk about real world stuff in this book, their families, their experiences, their lives. And Angie shares a story of physical pain. She actually shares her story of becoming addicted to pain pills and her journey of getting sober and how she had to deal with repressed childhood issues and trauma. And it was manifesting itself in her body as pain. And she was having, she would slip her disc, and then she went in and had surgery, and then it slipped again, and then she went in and had surgery again, and then it slipped again. And it's like our bodies have these very weird ways of really forcing us to deal with things. And it's so interesting because when I was listening to that book, it made me reflect on my own physical pain that I'm going through right now, which I have to say, you guys, my sciatic nerve, we're doing better. We're doing better. Yay. There's improvement. I'm feeling so much better. So still have a ways to go, but you know what? I'm headed in the right direction, and that's what matters. But anyway, so as I was listening to the book and I heard her talk about that, it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I started doing some shadow work and some journaling over my pain and where my pain comes from and what I'm afraid of. And it's so interesting because as I followed the little trail, it led right back to my childhood too. And I think so many of us are walking around with physical pain in our bodies, and it's because we have these things that we need to release, right? And this card is talking about how we're in the process of transformation right now. We are changing at a cellular level. So we need to also release those things that no longer serve us, so we're not dragging it along with us. And this card is such a beautiful reminder. What do you have in your life that no longer serves you that you need to let go? Okay. All right, you guys, if you're still with me, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up on your way out. And also, if you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. It's free and a fantastic way to help out my channel. And finally, you guys, if you would like to take your support of my channel one step further, you can become a member. The link to join is in the description box down below. Just click where it says more, it'll expand. It is 99 cents a month, and my members get access to member exclusive content. And right now, you guys, we're working our way through the Inner Temple Oracle, which has been amazing. I also have some other fun stuff planned for my members. So if you're interested, check that out. But please know, if it's not in your budget, I totally, completely understand, and you will still have a full library of content right here, okay? I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me while I flip cards, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.